So when I work with kids and teens, I try to think of ways to make them stronger, to make them very confident, and think of ways to try to substitute what you could to try to boost that confidence earlier for them. You certainly can't just compound life experience. But if you could accelerate it, what would be a great way to be able to do that? And I think having a strong roadmap for the scene study basics really helps overcome that and helps to lift them to a higher level so they become a super strong competitor, so they become a winner. I mean, let's face it, that's what this business is about. It's ultimate competition, and it is about winning the job. Without that roadmap, when you look at your material, you're sort of just relying on what? Your memorizing ability, thinking that you know it. But have you really taken the time to understand who that character is, what the scene is really about, what the relationships are about, what the character's really thinking? What was that point of view that the writer was trying to get across? What are these characters doing to affect one another? And yet, you need to be connected, present, stay in the moment, and of course, stand out. I mean, that's just like 15 things I just mentioned right there. A very difficult thing to do at an adult age, let alone a young age. Now, I also think it's really important not to overwhelm young actors with having to do too much with material. Because if you give yourself the assignment of having to do too much at once, then it too becomes slightly overwhelming. And you become overly analytical, more working from everything that you're thinking about, and that's really the greatest danger for an actor. Because then the performance becomes less visceral, less in your gut, more in your head. And these are the things that coaches really struggle with when they teach actors, because they're teaching them concepts that they have to learn and really comprehend. But then it's like we want those concepts to kind of get in you in some sort of like osmosis fashion on a cellular level, so you don't even have to think about what you learn. That way, it's a part of your being. It's a part of your doing. And I think when you work with kids and teens, that you don't want to give them too much information. Because it's true, adults in acting class often have just a gigantic checklist of things to really think about when they analyze material. Kids have a natural ability, a spontaneousness that sometimes adults don't have. That's sort of inbred with them when they perform. So I think it's just great to think of the hybrid of combining that naturalness with how they play material with a little bit of technique, a little bit of that roadmap, so that with that combination, they then can really hit it and really solidify what they're doing. I don't want anyone to really be able to poke holes in your work. And the thing is that for every audition, it'd be great if you could hire a coach for every single audition. But that's not always doable. When it's not doable, you want to know that you have a method that works for you. Break down material. That's not overly analytical. It's not scene studied. It's just a nice, broad brush overview so that you feel you've got some sort of a roadmap with the material that you're doing. Okay, so we're going to go into some scene work today, but before we do that, I want to do a little bit of a warm-up so everybody's not so stiff and just sort of like jumping right into it. It's very important, since this is your instrument, that you really, really gear it to work, be spontaneous, be there for you, be free. So everybody up, we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up today.